Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about banned books. What is a banned book? By definition, a banned book is a book that has been removed from schools or public libraries due to objections over the book's content. This can range from portrayals of mental health, suicide, sexuality, racism. Just because a book becomes banned does not mean that it is removed completely from places that you can buy and loan books. The ban only limits institutional access. Banned books will still be found in Barnes & Nobles and other retail shops, and also you can still rent or check out these books from libraries. They might have more of a limitation on access. Now, I live in Texas, which means that according to this infographic from 2023, my state did the most attempts to restrict access to books and the most unique titles that were challenged compared to all the other states in this infographic. I've also included a link for this infographic in my description, as well as the link for this list, which lists some of the ISDs in Texas and the books that they banned last year. With my experience of working in a library, I know the process that a book goes through to get banned, and I'm just going to do a brief overview of that now. What happens first is a person comes in with the book that the library currently stocks and has, and they tell the clerk or they tell the librarian that they want to file a challenge against this book title. In this challenge, this complaint, they write down why the book should be banned for reasons, sexuality, religious reasons, whatever it is. This complaint then gets reviewed by a committee. So either the school board or the library board gets this written complaint, and they review the book and they review why the complaint was written, and then they make a decision based off of that. There are typically three options after a complaint is filed on a book. One, the complaint is rejected, so the book stays available to all inside the library or the school. Two, the book gets placed on restricted access, which means that the book may be moved to a different part of the library, or it might need parental approval before being checked out. And three, the book is banned or removed from the school, from the library, and is no longer stocked or available to be printed. Now, besides the schools, school boards, libraries, and library committees, the only other people that can block or ban books is state and local governments. It is also not illegal to own a banned book. Now, I'm gonna give you a list of a couple different banned books. It's gonna be a mix of classic banned and modern banned. And I encourage you to go to the American Library Association website and scroll through all of the books that they have. There are tons of banned books. You'll be surprised at the amount of modern books that have been published recently that are on that list. It really is just surprising. I encourage you to pick and choose which ones you haven't read or reread ones that you have, as well as look at other creators' lists of banned books that you should read. 1984 by George Orwell. This is a dystopian novel about a government that has total control over everything. They manipulate the truth, the past, and also the government suppresses free thought through constant surveillance. This book was banned for its obvious political themes and its controversial thoughts on censorship and surveillance. Brave New World. This book is set in the future where the society is controlled through drugs, pleasure, and conditioning. This novel does a really good job of exploring the cost of living when we all are conforming to rules. It was banned for depictions of drugs, sexuality, and the anti-religious themes. Fahrenheit 451. So this is actually a novel that is based in the future where books are banned, and there are these firemen who collect books, any book, and they burn them. This book was banned for the criticism of censorship, language, and religious themes. Then we have The Catcher in the Rye. This is like a regular coming of age story, and it follows our main character as he's struggling to cross from teenager to adult. I think this one was just banned in schools versus being banned in schools and libraries, but it was banned for profanity, sexual references, and themes of rebellion. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. This is a really strong memoir that details Maya Angelou's early life, and it explores themes of racism, identity, and resilience. It was banned for sexual abuse, trauma, and racism. The Grapes of Wrath. This book is based in the time frame of the Depression, and it's about a family that is forced to leave their farm and travel to California, searching for a better life. And it was challenged a lot for its depiction of poverty, strong language, and criticism of capitalism. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. This is about a patient in a psychiatric hospital who is rebelling against the tyrannical nurse and the oppressive system that is the hospital. This one was removed, I believe also just from schools, for its depiction of mental illness, sexuality, and the strong language. Their Eyes Were Watching God. This follows Janie. She's an African-American woman searching for independence. It was banned for sexual content, themes of race and gender, and strong language. Lord of the Flies. This is about a group of boys who get stranded on an island and how they kind of come up with their own rules, and doing so, it kind of leads them towards violence. And this one was challenged a lot for violence, the dark themes that it has, a portrayal of children in brutal situations. One of my favorite classics, and that is Slaughterhouse 5. I actually read this in high school, and it's a satirical anti-war book who follows our main character Billy as he experiences time travel and he survives this bombing. It was banned for profanity, anti-war themes, and explicit sexual content. Now I'm gonna move on to some more modern day books that have been banned. Once again, this is such a short compiled list of books that have been banned. I really do encourage you to look at all of the different books that have been challenged or banned. The Hate U Give. This is about a Black teenager who experiences a police shooting of her friend, and this kind of falling out of the community as they're dealing with this trauma. It was banned for depictions of police violence, profanity, and discussion of racism. Looking for Alaska. This is a student falls in love with a mysterious girl named Alaska. I believe this one was also just banned from school libraries, but it was banned for sexual content, drug use, and profanity. The Perks of Being a Wallflower. A coming-of-age novel about our main character who is socially anxious and dealing with some mental health issues and some trauma as he's trying to find his place in life. This one has been challenged a lot for the discussion of mental health, LGBTQ themes, and drug use. 13 Reasons Why. A girl leaves behind 13 different tapes after she commits suicide, and they kind of explain why she committed suicide. I believe this one was also just banned in schools because of its strong depiction of suicide. If you're a little bit older and you were watching 13 Reasons Why when it was coming out, I remember when the suicide scene was left in the TV show, and then now that they've changed it and they've removed that from the TV show. Genderqueer. When I worked at the library, we got this book in, and before it even hit the shelves, it already had challenges against it. This is a graphic novel memoir, and really it just explores gender identity, self-discovery, and being queer. And it was challenged and banned for LGBTQ content and explicit illustrations. I believe this is one of the most banned books of recent years. The Handmaid's Tale. This is a dystopian novel about a government that oppresses women, forcing certain women into being servants and bearing children. It was banned for sexual content, religious criticism, and themes of oppression. If you don't want to read this book, you can always watch the TV show, although I'm not sure it's as good as the book. The Kite Runner. This is a book about friendship, betrayal, and redemption, and it's happening during a time of political change in Afghanistan. And it is banned for sexual violence, religious themes, and depictions of war. Speak. This is about a high school girl who gets sexually assaulted and then she's struggling with this trauma. It was banned for addressing sexual abuse and mental health despite being such a great novel for survivors. The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. This is about a Native American teenager who leaves his reservation to attend a mostly white high school. It is banned for language, depiction of poverty, and racism and sexuality. And lastly, this book is gay. It is a nonfiction book that discusses LGBTQ plus identities, relationships, and history. And it was banned for the explicit discussions of LGBTQ plus topics and education. Now, I just want to reiterate that all of these books have been challenged and or banned from schools and libraries, but that does not mean that you have zero access to them whatsoever. Most of these books are still sold if you can't rent them, loan them from your library because they are restricted access or you have to have parental approval to check them out. A lot of them you can find secondhand. I've seen plenty of these titles at Goodwills and other thrift places. Now, if you read any of the books on the banned book lists and you find one that you really like, I encourage you to try to get a physical copy of that book. Please let me know if you have any other questions about banned books or what your favorite banned book is. And I hope that somewhere in here you found a book that interests you and you read it and it teaches you a little bit about something. Bye.